Good afternoon, guys and gals, welcome back to the channel. And today I just want to talk to you about the joys of buying and selling cars. You know, try to sell a car privately and how much of a nightmare it can be. Now, anybody who's recently sold a car privately will know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, last year I sold my Frontera, lovingly christened Trevor. And if you're new to the channel, if you go back on the videos on the channel, you'll see the videos I did on Trevor. And it was very, very sad that I sold him, but I just had to. I just came to that stage where I weren't going to use him, I wasn't going to tax him and put him on the road, so it was just a case of I may as well sell him, free up some money to be able to invest into other cars that I've already got. So I got him sold, and I sold him through Facebook Marketplace. So I thought, well, it's completely free, and there's no advertising costs, there's no fees to pay if you do sell it through Marketplace. You know, it's not like selling through an auction site like eBay where you have to pay fees. It's completely, totally, and utterly free. So I've currently got this for sale, my Astra, which is the car that I'm driving now as I do this video, and I've not put it up at a lot of money. I've got it up for sale for £1,500, which in this market today, you know, £1,500 doesn't buy you a great deal on the used car market. So I thought, you know, £1,500, it's a fair price for an 09 plate, 1.8 petrol. It's a convertible. You know, it's been a thoroughly reliable car. It's never let me down. It's got 117,637 miles exactly, as I've just said that. Obviously it's going up because I'm driving, but I thought 1,500 quid. I'm not asking too much. The price is negotiable within reason. I had a message from a guy in the early hours of this morning: would you take 700? And I'm like, eh? So the car's advertised for 1,500, and this guy has just sent me a message offering 700. What do you think, mate? What do you think? What do you think the answer is going to be to that question? Would you take less than half the asking price? No, I bloody well won't. You know, why is it, right, that some people think that you're seriously going to sell something for less than half the asking price? You know, what planet, seriously, what planet do these people live on? You know, I have said it is negotiable. You know, I'll probably let it go for maybe 1,200, 1,300. But if I do a fresh MOT on it, which I'm thinking of doing these next few weeks, then I'll be asking the full 1,500 for it with a fresh MOT. As it stands now, to be honest, I might let it go for a grand 1,100 quid. That's without me spending any more money on it. If I have to spend a bit of money on it to get it through an MOT, which I probably will do, well, to be honest, I know for a fact I will definitely have to spend a bit of money on it to get it through an MOT, then I will definitely want more money back for it. But come on, you know, 1,500 quid for a car in today's climate with how expensive used cars are, I'm not asking a lot of money, am I? It's not like I'm asking 2 grand or 3 grand, which would be expensive for one of these. I'm asking 1,500, which is a fair price for a decent Astra twin top. You know, it's an exclusive black, so it's the top of the range, end of the line model. You know, with a heated leather interior, it's got the exterior body pack. You know, this car is worth more than a grand in bits. If I decided to scrap it and strip it for parts, it's worth more than a grand in bits. So why on earth would I sell it for anything less than a grand? I'd rather scrap it I'd rather sit it on my driveway and strip it for bits and sell all the parts than sell it for less than, you know, the kind of 700 quid that he's offering me. It's like, where do these idiots get the brass bollocks? Pardon my French, but you know what I mean? Where do they get the bold front to ask you if you'll sell it for less than half price? But as I say, I had loads of similar experiences when I was selling Trevor, my Frontera. Now, because my Frontera was in really, really good condition, it needed a few bits because it were, you know, a 1998 car. It's not going to be immaculate. You know, it needed a few bits doing. It was 25-year-old last year when I was selling it, so obviously it needed a few bits doing, but it only done 42,000 miles, so I advertised him for 3,750. In the end, I ended up selling him for 2,900. And in all honesty, I was very, very pleased and very happy to get 2,900 for him. Really, the figure I was aiming for was about 2.5. So to get 2.9 I thought was a good result. But I had put a hell of a lot of time, a hell of a lot of man hours into getting him to the stage he was at. So to be fair, he was worth every penny. Really was worth every penny. Yeah, he still needed some work doing to get him perfect. You know, the guy who bought it from me, he had to put a new radiator on, and because the radiator was leaking, he had to do a few other bits and bobs. He ended up spending another few £100 on it. But 25-year-old car, you're not going to buy a 25-year-old car and it not need anything unless you pay a lot more money for it. But when I was advertising Trevor, I was having idiots offering me 1,500 quid. I'm having idiots offering me 1,500 quid for it. This were a car that was up for sale for 3,750, and I had people offering 1,500 quid. It's like, I don't mean to be funny, but the car's advertised for 3,750 and you're offering me £1,500 for it. I had another guy offer me £2,000, which, again, ridiculous. Why would you offer somebody £2,000 for a car that's for sale for 3,750? I was actually kicking myself a bit, to be honest, because the very first offer I got was a straight 3,000, and unfortunately, because I wanted a bit more, I wanted to get about 3,200, 3,300, I held off and I didn't accept his £3,000 offer. But in hindsight, I wish I do, because I ended up selling him for 2,900 in the end, so I got £100 less in the end. But you know, sometimes selling cars is just such a major pain in the backside. It really, really is. Like I said, sometimes people just offer you silly, stupid amounts of money for cars that you've got for sale for a lot more, and they just offer you stupid low figures. And funny thing is, as a lot of you guys will know, I work in the car trade. I work in car sales, and I have done on and off since 2007. I say on and off because I have done a couple of other things in between, but mostly since 2007 I've worked in the car sales industry. I've worked actually doing sales. I've done other jobs within the car trade as well, and one of the places I used to work was a little family run dealership, and we used to get it there as well. You know, we'd have a car up for sale for like £9,000-10,000, and somebody would email saying, would you take 6 for it? 6.5, would you take 7? And you're like, well, the car's up for like 9-10 grand, why on earth would we take 6 for it? I remember actually once really taking the mickey out of one particular guy I think it was a car that were up for sale for about 11 grand, and he said, would you take 7 for it? And I said, yeah, we'll take £7,000 as a deposit, and then we could finance the other 5 or whatever it was, the other 4. And needless to say, he never bothered messaging again. I said, yeah, we'll take 7,000, no problem, as a deposit, and then we'll finance the other 4,000. I even quoted him monthly payments. I even actually quoted him monthly payments on the finance, and he never bothered messaging again. So, you know, what are your experiences, guys and gals? You know, if you've sold a car privately, what kind of idiots have you had? I know my mate Barry, I've talked to him a lot when he's been selling cars. Some of the idiots that he's had messaging him, offering him silly, stupid money for his cars. He recently sold a Mark II Astra Estate, a really nice Mark II Astra Estate. Really rare car, really nice condition. And get like daft messages from people like, oh, I once paid 80 quid for one of them. It's like, what relevance has that got in 2024 that you once paid 80 quid for one? And what's your point? Those days are long gone where you can pay 80 quid for a Mark II Astra of any type. You know, so what actually is your point? It's like one of my mates once paid 80 quid for a Mark II Escort. You know, back in the day you could buy Mark II Escorts for like 100 quid, 50 quid, 80 quid. You can't now, can you? 2024 you can't. You know, some people, they seem to think that you can get cars for pennies. And the thing is, there aren't many very cheap cars around anymore. You know, I know it's all like demand and need. And if you're selling a car, you've got to be selling a car that people actually want to be able to sell it. Like, there's no point in advertising a car for 2 grand that's only worth £1 grand, because you're never going to sell it, because you're asking twice for it what it's actually worth. But that's why I'm not being greedy with this. I'm asking for £1,500 for this car, and this car is worth 1,500 quid all day long, because this same car at a dealership, it'd be 2.5, 3 grand. But the difference is, at a dealership you'd have a warranty, you'd probably get a fresh service, a fresh MOT, you'd get a little bit of fallback on the dealership if something went wrong with the car, you know, because you get that bit of a warranty. You've got your 6 months consumer rights buying it through a dealership, you know, so you've got a lot of backup and a lot of protection buying a car through a dealership, which is why cars at dealerships are always a bit more expensive. But that's why I'm advertising this only at 1,500, because, you know, it's half what it would be at a dealership, or at least £1 grand cheaper than it would be at a dealership. So I don't get why it's so difficult. The problem I've got with this is the fact that it's only got a month's MOT left on it. So I'm gonna have to spend a bit of money on it to get a fresh MOT on it, and then I can advertise it with a fresh MOT. And if I can get it done within the next week, really it's going to have near enough 13 months MOT. It'd have like 12 months and 3 weeks MOT mainly, because I think the MOT runs out on the 10th of April, I think, and it's the 10th of March today as I'm recording this video. It's the 10th of March. So if I could get the MOT done this next week, it'd have 13 months MOT. So that's my plan anyway, that's my plan. And then we'll see what kind of idiots we get going forward. You know, with 12 months MOT, I bet I still get idiots offering me like 700-800 quid even with a full 12 months MOT. I did actually have one guy message me saying he would give me the full 1500 if it had a full MOT on it. You know, if I put it through an MOT and got a brand new MOT on it, he'd offer me the full £1,500 asking price. And I actually said to him, the only problem I've got at the moment is having the time to get any work done on it that it needs for the MOT. Because I do know for a fact it is going to need something. Because there are all these potholes, you can probably hear the knocks and bangs that it's got. You know, there's something on the front suspension that's causing that knocking and the banging. And I don't actually know what it is that's causing it. I've had it jacked up and I've looked underneath and nothing seems to be loose. So I don't know what's causing it. The drop links and things, the bushes. From what I can tell, jacking it up at the side of the road, everything looks alright. But I don't know. We shall see. Anyway guys, I'm going to stop waffling. This video's gone on to be 16 minutes so far. I'm just driving up Winnots Pass in Derbyshire. Beautiful scenery, as you can see. Stuck behind a bus, which is just what you want. Just what I want is to be stuck behind a bus, but there you go, what can I do? So thanks a lot for watching guys. Please like the video, please subscribe, have a browse around the other videos, and I'll catch you in the next one. Laters.